Hi, I'm Kathy Cairo with Keller Williams Greater Columbus. And if you're watching this video, you probably were unable to attend our home seller seminar on Thursday night. What we decided to do was to make a video just for you because we had a great crowd there Thursday night, but there was a lot of questions and stopping and starting. And I really do want to give you this information all in one sitting. If you have any questions and if you have any follow-up needs, of course, I'll be here to help you with that as well. So first of all, I just want to introduce you to my team. If you are a past client or if you've been to our seminars, you know that I lead a great team here in Central Ohio. We're now up to 8 agents and we have 3 full-time employees on the back end, and all of that is to make sure your transaction goes smoothly. And it's a whole lot of experience as well. We used to count the years, and I don't remember anymore, but it's well over 100 years of experience selling homes in Central Ohio. So tonight I'm going to bring some of that experience to you. The first thing I want to talk about is this year, 2023. Has the market stopped? Did interest rates kill all the home sales and all the advantages to being a home seller? Nope, not at all. In fact, what I say is that in 2023, what it is like a poker game when all the chips are still on your side of the table. So what does it mean? What does it mean to win in this market? Why is it different from other markets? And how has it changed in some ways since 2022? Well, first of all, what it means is to have all the benefits of the market. We work with a 14-page purchase contract in Central Ohio. In that contract, there's about 5 or 6 things that really matter to the seller. Here's a list of some of the bigger things, but really what you care about is getting the best price. You care about if it's a cash offer or if it's what kind of financing it is. What's the quality of that buyer? Does that buyer have good credit? How much money are they putting down? How certain are we that that buyer is going to go to closing? And then there's the home inspection. A traditional transaction allows the buyer to do a home inspection, move forward and ask for repairs, back out of the contract, or move forward without repairs. In this market, it's very common. In fact, I just wrote an offer today for a young client to waive the home inspection altogether, or to say, okay, I'll do the home inspection, but I will not ask for any repairs. What a bonus that is to a homeowner. That's the market we're still in. The appraisal, some of you may have heard the term appraisal gap. That is getting a buyer who agrees to buy your home at the price offered, whether or not that home appraises. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. And then closing and possession. If you're marketing a vacant home, well, no big deal. You close and hand over the keys the same day. What if you're living in that home? What if you need some time to move out? What if you need time to find another home? What if you have another home identified, but you don't have possession of it for 45 or 60 days? Well, we're in a market where we can put in the contract that you're going to close on your home, but you're not going to hand over the keys for up to 60 days. And then finally, I know some of you say, hey, I've got a home either that I've used as a rental or my own home. I'm moving to a much smaller place. I don't want anything in my home. And you know what a pain and a challenge that is to clear your home out. Well, we price your home right. You'll get a buyer who says, look, lock the door, take what you want, and we will clean out the rest of the home. All of those are pretty terrific benefits, and they all still exist in this 2023 market. So I know what you're thinking. I thought rising interest rates stopped all the craziness. And I'll be honest with you, we have been in craziness for about 10 years with home sales, but it's craziness that benefits the homeowner. Well, let me share with you a truth here. No, we are not out of the craziness. In fact, it's a simple formula. This is not high-end economics. This is simple supply and demand in Central Ohio. Look at these numbers here on the screen. We should have between 15 and 18,000 homes on the market to meet demand right now. 15,000 is pretty typical. Up till 2012, we always had at least 12, 13,000 homes on the market, more than that. And what that meant was that for every buyer, there was a house out there. It was pretty even supply and demand. Well, what we are now looking ahead at with all the jobs coming to Central Ohio is that number is going to go up. We need about 18,000 homes on the market to meet that demand. 30,000, that's the number of homes that were on the market between 2005 and 2012. That's when Central Ohio experienced a recession. So the number of homes on the market doubled. It was a real challenge to sell your home, and it was largely the lowest price one. Interest rates, they've gone up to 5.7 to 6.3%, depending on the day of the week. Has that made all the buyers go away? No, it has not. We still have an average of 7 days on market. We still have homes selling over list price. 106% is the average. And look at the following next two numbers. If you have a home that you believe is going to sell at $350,000 or less, right now there's 15 buyers for your home. If your home is going to sell at the high end, $350,000 or more, you have 7 buyers for your home. How did that change from last year? That's half the numbers we had a year ago. Last year, I could have told you you had 30 buyers on lower end homes and you had 15 or more buyers for high end homes. So has the market shifted? Absolutely. How many buyers do you need for your home? 1. We still have way more buyers than we have homes on the market. So what is normal? What should you expect if you put your home on the market? Well, let's take a step back first of all, and let's look at the market from 2012 to 2022. During that period, I'm showing you on the screen here an example of what we did on a regular basis. In fact, hundreds of times. We were getting so many homes on, so many purchase offers on houses that we didn't even print out the contracts anymore. We just put it on an Excel spreadsheet. And on that Excel spreadsheet that we set in front of the homeowner and present to them, it would show all the offers and the key terms of those offers that were of interest to the seller. So it showed the price. It showed, did the buyer ask for any closing cost? Did they have an attorney involved? Who was their lender? What kind of loan was it? Were they going to give us any money over appraised value? What kind of home repairs were they going to ask for, if any? Were they going to do a home inspection? What was the earnest deposit they put down to secure their commitment to the home? And finally, when did they want to close and when did they want to give up possession? And so what you'll see from this Excel spreadsheet on this particular home, which is just one I picked at random, we had at least 15 offers on it. We could have had 20 or 30. I just showed you one page of our Excel spreadsheet. One thing that you'll find, look down there at the very bottom under closing and possession. On there, look how similar those dates are. Why are they similar? Because we told the buyer what you needed. This is not a market where the buyer gets to choose when they close or when they get possession. We tell them when you want to close and when you want to give up possession. And when you have this much competition for houses, the buyers jump through whatever hoop you want to give you what you want. So that was for a 10-year period. That began to slow down in 2022 as interest rates went up. But let's talk about this year. We are still getting multiple offers on houses. We still have too much demand for too few houses. What happened over the last year is all of the marginal buyers, meaning those buyers who were in the market only because interest rates were so low, we have lost those buyers. But when you have 30 buyers for every home and you lose half of them, you still have 15 buyers for every home. We are still seeing multiple offers on well-priced homes. We are hearing regularly of 70 to 80 showings on homes. I personally listed a home in Upper Arlington last Thursday. So far we've had about 20 showings on it. So we are still in a hyper seller's market. We've just backed down off of what we were a year ago. So let's answer some of your questions, because I know some of the questions you're thinking about. First of all, if we're in a market like this, does price matter? Can you just throw any price on it? And since there's not enough homes out there, someone will buy it? And the answer is no. In fact, all of the extras that I just told you we will try to get with multiple offers, they only happen if you've priced your home right. And that means you've priced at appraisal value so that you not only get one offer, you get multiple offers, and then we let the buyer run that price up. If I have an opportunity to meet with you individually, I'll tell you what that number is for your house, and then what you can expect to get for it. Do I need staging? First of all, the Kathy Cairo Group, as part of our listing service, provides staging for you. Now, we don't move the furniture around and bring new furniture in and all that, but we give you a 2-hour at our cost consultation with a stager who goes room to room and tells you things you can do with the items you already own to make your home look its absolute best. And the reason we do that is because we only use professional photography, and we want your house to shine once we have that staging done and we get a rock star photographer out there to take a picture of it. Do you have to do repairs to your home? Well, the answer is no, depending on where you want to price it. I mean, think of this: if you'll sell your home to me for $100, you don't have to do a thing to it. So again, using a very extreme number, it depends on the dollar figure you want to sell your home for. But I will tell you this: this market is very forgiving. When there's very few homes out there, especially the light maintenance things, buyers will overlook. They will overlook a lot of cosmetics. Here's the big ones that I say are tough to sell on any buyer, any year, any market. Number one, foundation issues. Any kind of bowing, cracks in your wall, water issues. Only the hardcore investor is going to make an offer on that home, and they're going to make a very low offer. So your basement foundation needs to be in great shape. Your roof is critical, not because the buyer cares, because an insurance agent cares. If the roof is beyond its life expectancy, insurance agent will say we're not putting insurance on that home, for the simple reason they don't want to be on the hook for a new roof when that roof should have been replaced. So they will either not put insurance on the home, which means the buyer can't get a mortgage, or they will put what's called provisional insurance on it, and they will not cover the roof until the buyer replaces it. So it becomes a tough sell if your roof needs to replace. Things like heating, cooling, electrical, plumbing, your hot water heater, your appliances in the home, they don't need to be brand new. They should be operating. If you have not had your HVAC cleaned and serviced in the last couple years, I recommend you do that before you put it on the market. Do you use a wood-burning fireplace? If you have and you have not had that unit inspected and cleaned in the past few years, you want to have that done as well. You want to have that done so that you know you're not going to be on the hook for a big repair if that chimney is cracked, the liner's cracked, or in some way not working. So there are things, and when we meet with you, we'll go through and tell you the things that are worth putting your money into. But I've had clients tell me, I want to lock the door tomorrow and be gone. I don't want to do anything. Price it where you have to price it, but I do not even want to pick up a screwdriver. And we can do that. If the market's so great, why wouldn't I just sell my home myself? Well, let me give you an honest answer. The market is so great, you probably could sell your home yourself. And what that means is you could put a sign out, go online, and you would get one offer. But how do you know what would happen if you got 5 offers or 7 offers or 10 offers? And that's what putting your home into the MLS does. It allows you to get multiple offers, lets the buyers bid against each other, and all of a sudden my fee as a realtor is paid because the buyer has made the price go up. Now, that's not always the case, but more offers is always better than one offer. And as a for sale by owner, it's very difficult to initiate a transaction that gets more than one offer, simply because you do not have the ability to hit a lot of eyes at once. Whereas on the MLS, the minute your home goes into our system, you are in front of 8,000 realtors and their buyers. So you get an immediate reaction. Everybody's seeing the home at once. And if you've ever been to an auction, you know what happens when more than one person wants an item. The price goes up. So that's what the realtor brings to the table. What if my home doesn't appraise for what the buyer agrees to pay for it? Well, our contract says that if your home doesn't appraise, the buyer can walk away. You can renegotiate with the buyer, or the buyer can move forward at the offered price, even though it didn't appraise. Now, let me talk in real terms what that means. If I price your home at $400,000 and Joe and Mary Smith are approved up to $450,000, and they come in and they say, we're approved up to $450,000, so we're going to offer $425,000, and then the appraiser comes and says it's only worth $400,000. The only way you're getting $425,000 if Joe and Mary have in the bank an additional $25,000 in cash that they're going to bring in addition to the mortgage they're going to get. The bank is not going to loan any more than what the home appraised for. So again, that's the reason we want multiple offers. We want that buyer who comes to the table with a purchase contract and says, no matter what this home appraises for, we will give you X amount of dollars, and here's proof from a bank statement we have that we have the added cash to give you. It's a completely topsy-turvy, upside down way of buying a home if you've not been in the market in the last 10 years. So again, you've got to throw all the rules out that you've ever sold a home by, because they don't they don't work in a market where there's simply not enough homes out there. What if you want to buy a home, but you need to sell your home first? Well, this is where it's bad news for you as a seller. Because remember the old days of the sale of home contingency, which you could put your home on the market and it took 60 to 90 days to sell. So you would go out shopping, and once you found a house, you would write an offer to purchase it contingent on your home selling. Well, we just don't see those in this market. When every homeowner is getting multiple offers, they're not going to stop and wait for your home to sell when they have 5 offers that do not involve the sale of a home. But Kathy, you say, don't they know that my home's going to sell just as quickly? Why would it bother them to take a sale of home contingency? And the answer to that is that it has nothing to do with whether or not your home will sell. They know your home will sell. What it has to do with is doubling the risk. They're already taking a risk on you as a buyer. They're taking a risk that you're qualified, that you'll get past the home inspection, that the home will appraise, that you won't break up with your girlfriend or get a divorce from your husband or wife, that you won't decide at the last minute to change your mind. All of those are risks the homeowner takes. Well, if they take the sale of home contingency on your home, once your home goes into contract, they've doubled the risk. Now there's a buyer at the other end of the train that they have no knowledge of. We don't know who it is. We don't know if it's a good buyer. We don't know if they're qualified. We don't know what their situation is. So a homeowner sitting and looking at 4 or 5 offers at once has really no incentive to take on your risk of selling the home, unless you make an offer so incredibly better than anything else they have that they say, okay, I'll take on that risk, because they're willing to pay $50,000 more than anybody else has. So it's a challenge to do a sale of home contingency. And then, how do I show my home to 40 people in 3 days? The reality is, in this market, if we believe you're going to have that level of showings, we ask you to leave your house for 3 days. We ask you to go get an Airbnb, go visit your kids, go see your mom and dad, do something because you simply can't be home. Your home could have as many as 10 or 11 showings a day. That means all day long someone's coming and going from your home. So what we do is we ask you to just take a break, go away for 3 days, let us show your home, let us hold it open. Very hopefully by the time you come back, we have offers for you. So again, it is a little bit different than what you've done if you haven't sold a home in the past 10 years. And I know you're going to ask this, if I'm selling my home in a market where there's no homes on the market, where do I go? What's the next step? Well, sorry, bad news here too. If you have a great seller market and there's no homes on the market, it means you could be homeless. And I say that jokingly, but I'm not joking. It is a reality that there may be nothing on the market when you sell your home. So let me give you your options. I call option 1 the Tesla. The Tesla says, I owe nothing on my home, or I have enough equity in it, or my income is such that I can buy house number 2 without selling house number 1. So in that case, we get house number 1 ready to sell, but we don't put it on the market. We go and shop for your home. Then the minute you go into contract on a home and you're proceeding to closing, we turn around and list your home. And many times those closings are within weeks of each other. It's just instead of closing on your home and then the new home, you're closing on the new home and then closing on your home a couple weeks later. But the lender has to see that you're qualified to buy 2 homes. Lenders love me. They know I'll sell your home, but they're not going to let you borrow the money unless they are fairly certain that you can carry those 2 mortgages while you own the home. So that's the best scenario. You don't have to move twice. You just move into another home and then you turn around and sell your home. Option 2 is what I call the Toyota. That is, well, you get into contract with a very flexible buyer and you negotiate with that buyer to stay in that home until you have found another home. The catch to that is twofold. Number 1, the buyer is going to put in there, okay, we're fine with you waiting until you find a home, but we reserve the right to pull our contract at any time before you tell us you found a home. So it's kind of a quicksand offer. We really don't have a solid buyer there until you found the home. The other better way to do it in terms of having a true buyer is to say, oh my gosh, we got a great offer on this home. We're going to close, but we're going to ask the buyer if we can stay in our home until we find another home. Well, again, unless you have a cash buyer, if there's a mortgage involved, the lender will give a 60-day limit to that, 60. You have to be out within 2 months of closing on the home. The reason for that is because any longer than 60 days, the lender says this is a rental. This is not an owner-occupant home. So they make sure their buyer is going to be in that home as a primary residence within 60 days. So gives you a little more time, but if you haven't found anything in 60 days, you still are going to have to move out, which brings us to option number 3, I call the bicycle. That means you're going to have to do a double move. In order to reap all the benefits of this sale market, you're going to have to be willing to sell, move somewhere temporarily, and then buy again. That way, once your home is sold, once you've moved out, then you have no home to sell, you have money in the bank, and now you are a non-contingent buyer. So some people combine the Toyota and the bicycle. They buy the 60 days in their home and hope, fingers crossed and knock on wood, that we find a home for them. But if they don't, they're willing to move twice and go ahead and move somewhere temporarily. So that is the reality. You can't have a ton of homes to choose from and still a great seller's market. The reason you are going to do so well on the sale of your home is because inventory is limited. Now, there is a 4th option, and that is building new. I call that the wild card, and here's the reason. Builders are building as fast as they can in Central Ohio. The good thing about building new is if you remember when you were kids, you'd put dibs on something, and that meant nobody else could get it. Well, on a new build, you can put dibs on your new home, and it's yours. You're in contract, no competition, it's being built. But there's a couple catches to it. Number one, the builder's the seller in this market. So there's no negotiation in price. There's no negotiation in terms. The price is whatever they give you, plus all the add-ons that you put in. And so the first thing I would tell you is that new builds are quite expensive. It is very difficult to get into a new build anywhere in central Ohio under $400,000. And if you are desiring north of Columbus, it's more 500 is what you're going to be looking at. South of Columbus, if you go towards Lancaster in that area, you can still get in under 500,000, but it is not an inexpensive proposition. It is quite expensive to build a beautiful new home. The other point I would make in this is that because the builder is the seller, they are also going to require that you either be able to buy the home without putting your home on the market and selling it, or they're going to require that your home be listed. And many times they want it listed within 14 days of signing a contract. So good news is you have your own home. Bad news is that your home won't be completed for about 10 months. The other bad news is your home will sell quickly, so you're still left without any place to live for about 6 or 7 months. Now, I don't want to make a blanket statement there. There are some builders offering what we call spec homes, which is their homes that are sitting there and finished. Here's what's happened in the new build market in the last year. Because it takes so long to build homes, we had people who went in contract at 3.5% interest. And by the time the home was done, it was 6.5% interest. A lot of those buyers walked away. They said, look, the only reason we were buying at this price point was because of the interest rate. And now that the interest rate has gone up, we can't afford it or we don't want to pay it. So what did the builders do? They now have what we call spec homes or speculative homes. It means homes built on the speculation that another buyer will buy the home. So builders have a lot of those right now. And so they want them off their books. They want them sold. So they may work with us. They may come and say, okay, if you want to build, we have this spec home, we want it off our books, we'll work with you to get your home sold. So here's what I would tell you about building new. You need a realtor just as if you were buying an existing home. The builder will pay me to represent you at no cost to you. So if you're thinking of looking into new build, you give me a call. We will make sure that we link you with our best new build sales reps and help you sort of navigate that maze. In fact, getting ahead of myself, we do have a new build seminar coming up in June where we're going to educate you on the process and introduce you to the builder. So watch your email and we'll make sure you are invited to that. One final question, how long will this market last? And that has been a question everybody's asked for a decade now. And every time they say, oh, it'll be over next year. So far, it's not. Let's first look at this. This is the job and housing forecast for Columbus. This was put out by the Building Industry Association of Central Ohio, their 2022 year-end report. What they're telling us is that there are 30 to 40,000 jobs. Let's interpret that. 30 to 40,000 families needing homes coming to the Columbus area in the next 2 to 5 years. Right now, Columbus builders are building 8,000 to 9,000 homes a year. Columbus builders need to build 19,000 new homes a year just to meet that population growth in the next 5 years. So we're at a 10,000 house deficit for the next, at least for the next 3 to 5 years. That's where your house comes in. We can't overnight double production of new homes. And that's the reason I've said it when all the naysayers were saying, oh, it's a bubble and house prices are going to go down and demand is going to slow. It's just not happening. We're not seeing it. There are too many buyers looking for too few homes. In fact, the consensus of that report was until construction rises to meet demand, existing home prices and rents will continue to dramatically outpace growth. There will be a significant surplus of buyers giving every advantage in the market to the homeowner. There is no slowdown of the rise in home prices foreseen in the near future. Now, I'm going to leave that up on the screen because I want you to read that again. If you are or have been feeling that, number one, I'm not going to do anything until rates come down, or until the house prices come down, that you're likely into a long wait. Now, there is predictions that rates will drop at the end of 2023 somewhat. We will not see 3 and 4% interest, I'm told, again in my lifetime. That's not coming back. But we are likely to get down closer to the 5% range by the end of the year. What will that do? That will increase buyer demand. We'll have more buyers out. We cannot overnight snap our fingers and get homes built or get homes on the market. So as a home seller, you are in for several months of appreciation on your home and high demand for it. So my question always when people say to me, well, Kathy, should I sell? That's like asking me, Kathy, should we have a baby? I mean, it's a wonderful thing. And, it's very advantageous right now to sell. But, houses are a unique investment. You didn't invest in a home the way you do stocks and bonds and silver and gold, that it's only a fiscal value and you'll sell it when it goes down. You bought your house to live in, to love, to enjoy, to raise kids, to put up holiday decorations, to have family over, to have barbecues and prom pictures and all the things we do in our homes. So in the same way, just because it's financially advantageous to you right now to sell your home does not necessarily mean the time is right. Only you can answer that question and say, is the time right to sell my home? Is it for you? Do you have kids that are going off to college? Do you have a daughter getting married? Do you have things happening in you? Or is your health such that you look around and say, I would love to keep this home, but it's getting dangerous to go up and down stairs. I can't mow the lawn anymore. I'm seeing more and more home maintenance items that I can't keep up with. Are those the kinds of things happening in your life? Then yes, this is a great time to sell, because you are going to enter a market that may not be as advantageous years and years as we continue to do this. So that is the thing to think about. So that is kind of my consensus of the market. So what can we do for you? Number one is the Kathy Cairo Group. We offer no obligation visits to your home, where we walk through your home, we give you a value, tell you what it would sell for, tell you what it would cost to sell your home, what you would net from the sale of your home, when is the best time of year to sell your home, what you should do to your home before you put it on the market, all of the things that you need. We do that at no obligation. And let me grab it here. If you allow us to do that, I will bring the book I wrote a couple years ago. It's called Got Stuff, Get Help. I think it's terrific, but of course, it's because I put it together. If you struggle with stuff in your home, and that's a big deal, and most people I work with do, that's the reason I did the book. We put together this great book. It's Central Ohio specific, and in it, there are places in Central Ohio to sell it, donate it, move it, store it, organize it, or junk it. And so when you start saying, oh my gosh, I need to sell, but I don't know what to do with all my stuff, if you allow us to come do a quick meeting with you in your home and give you that information and introduce ourselves to you, if we've not already been there, we're going to bring this book as a gift to you. And then also a couple things coming up this year. We do have that new build seminar coming up. For those of you who are downsizing, our Downsize Columbus seminar is coming up on April the 30th. It's at the Villa Milano. It's free. All you need to do is go to downsizecolumbus.com to register, and we'd love to see you there. We'll offer you a bunch of resources for downsizing, and once again, we would love to meet you. So how do you reach us? Well, a couple ways. One, you can go to our website. It's called ourohiohome.com, OURAOHIO HOME, ourohiohome.com. Click on the contact, send us a message. Brandon, who many of you have talked to, Brandon will get on the phone, set up a meeting with somebody on my team, and we'll head out there. If you would rather call, you call Brandon, you can reach Brandon. I'll give you the number here. It is 614-705-8804. Again, 614-705-8804. Talk to Brandon. Tell him that you would like someone on our team to come out and go over that information with you. There is no cost. There is no obligation to it. It's our way of saying thank you for allowing us to serve you. And should you sell your home in the future, we would love to serve you. And I hope you'll let us do that. So again, I'm Kathy Cairo. Thank you for taking a minute with me. I welcome your questions and comments. Just find me at ourohiohome.com and click on the contact. Thank you so much.